All right, guys. We have a special treat for you all. I have Miss Alicia Daughtry with me. She's a representative of Liberty National Insurance. She have individuals who would like to have life insurance to cover their family, the kids, whoever it may be. And she also help guys. Guess what? She also help business owners, small business owners at that too. So with life insurance. But before we go into it, so let's talk about all about home care with Cheryl. My name is Cheryl Lane. I am the owner and founder of Eternity Citizen More Home Care and the Home Care Business Learning Station Facebook support group and online course site. Get to know me. I am your home care educator. I assist individuals who would like to remain in their home with non-medical home care services, and I also assist individuals who would like to start, grow, and sustain their home care businesses through motivation, online course site, and our Facebook support group. So, without further ado, I want to introduce you all to Alicia Daughtry, and she's going to tell you a little something about her, and then we're going to go into the questions about insurance, which we all need. All right, Alicia, take over.
Hi, I'm Alicia Daughtry. I'm with Liberty National. I specialize in setting families up for success in the future, as well as, like you said, helping out small businesses, medium businesses to be able to provide benefits for their employees and be able to get tax credits because of that.
Okay, all right, great, great. And like guys, we know now we in the age of in the era of COVID-19, and it has changed a lot of people's lives. It has changed their lives. Some people with sadness of death, some people of sickness who have gotten sick, but still having the complication of COVID, but they're still here, but you just don't know what may happen along down the line. So we
Right.
want to make sure that everybody is covered from your grandparents to your parents to your children to your nephews to whoever it may be. And Alicia will be the person to help you guys. So Alicia, tell us, I always been confused about this. Tell us the difference between whole life and term insurance.
So the major difference between whole life and term insurance is that whole life is going to build cash value, whereas term insurance will not. Whole life insurance is something you're going to want to get for your final death benefits, as well as to be able to set your family up for success in the future after your passing.
Okay.
Term life benefits are going to be more so for a term in your life. So to cover assets as far as like homes, cars, even maybe when you're first starting off your business. So
Mhm.
that way that you're able to make sure that if you were to have an untimely death early in life, it would go ahead and be able to pay off those assets so your family would not have to carry on that burden after your passing.
Okay. All right. Great. Yeah, we need to know. We need to know that, especially if people you have, houses and different things, bills and stuff like that, that you have,
Yes,
especially if you're a couple, you're married and you have joint bills, you want to make sure
right.
that person is covered and not leave bills. Okay. Even on your kids, you don't want to leave bills on your kids. Okay. So, okay.
Exactly.
Yes. So, okay. So tell me, what is the best time to get insurance? I know some people said try to get it early so it could be at a set price. So explain that to us.
So the best time to get insurance is going to be after birth. As soon as you take your child home, get a whole life policy because that's when it's going to be the cheapest you will ever pay for that policy.
Okay.
You're going to purchase your insurance based off your health and your age.
Okay.
So the older you get, of course, you may develop any kind of sickness, things like that. That's when you start getting ratings and all of that when you're doing your insurance policies. So the sooner the better. The other time that you want to get insurance, especially if you're wanting to get to cover like an asset or something like that, is after you've purchased. So if you get a home, as soon as you get that home and you know what your mortgage is going to be and how long, you can set up to have a decreasing term policy. So that way that it's able to cover that. So anytime you have a new event in life, you want to get insurance then. So as soon as you have a birth or as soon as you have gained a new asset. Now, if you are, say, like for instance, I'm in my 30s. So if I have not had insurance up until now, this will be the time for me to do it. this is going to be that time where it's still going to be in that reasonable price range to
Okay.
be able to cover my final death benefits without it being too far out of my price range.
Okay. Okay. Great. Oh, woo, yeah. Got look, I know I got mine. Said, like with so many of us, I know sometimes, and I've been guilty of it. So I can't fuss at nobody that I have gotten insurance, dropped it, gotten it, dropped it, gotten it, dropped it. Okay, so
Mhm.
now I know as a 51-year old that I know I need to get insurance and keep it right.
Right,
And so I end up getting insurance with you all and another company to cover the
right.
kids and myself. So now, as we get older, some of us might develop some kind of health issues or something like that. So, how would that affect the price of the insurance if you get it, especially if you up in age too?
So depending on what health conditions you may have,
Mhm.
and if you are managing those health conditions, it will determine if you're going to have a rated policy or not. So when they say a rated policy, that means that it's going to increase that price anywhere between
Okay.
$5 to $15, sometimes more, depending on, like I said, what health episodes you're having. So one thing you want to do, especially if you are trying to get insurance, is you want to be able to show that insurance company and their underwriters that you are trying to manage your health. So if you have high blood pressure, make sure that you have a record of showing that, yes, I am seeing my doctor, I am taking my medications as I should, as well as being able to show in writing what those actual numbers look like when you're taking a reading on your blood pressure.
Okay.
So if you can show that you are managing your health conditions, it's not going to rate that policy. But if it's showing that you're having a fluctuation in health conditions and you're still a smoker or things like that, that's when you're going to see that it's rating that policy and going up.
Okay. Okay. Great. So when they do call you to come out and talk to them about insurance, they may need to have all their health issues kind of
Yes.
written up.
So you don't necessarily have to have them 100% perfect,
Okay.
but to be able to show, yes, I am working on it. So something I always ask my clients is, okay, so do you have a blood pressure cuff at home? If they say yes, I say, okay, how often are you monitoring your blood pressure?
Hmm.
And that's something that I will put into my underwriting notes.
Okay.
So that when they go to look at that, they'll say, oh, okay, this person is trying to better their health. If you just found out that you have this, of course, you can't show a history of trying to correct it, but you are able to say, yes, I've seen my doctor and I am taking my medications.
Okay.
So we have a way of always getting around being denied for insurance. We also have what's called a modified health or an ALX policy,
Okay.
where you're still able to get insurance and it's still going to put it within a reasonable price range. So
Okay.
there's always a way to be able to get that insurance and get that coverage.
Okay. All right. Good. Oh, good information. We we definitely need to know that. Okay. So let's talk about the affordability. Some people may think they can't afford insurance and don't get it. And then we have seen now the age of GoFundMe accounts.
Right,
And we have to know that GoFundMe accounts are not insurance accounts, and we hear people
right.
say it all the time. So tell them what is, I guess, get them an estimate of what insurance may cost that they can get this and be set and don't have to worry about trying your family trying to worry about getting a GoFundMe account and the money might not get to you and
Right.
5 or 6 family members done got a GoFundMe account on you
Exactly.
and you don't get the
So
money.
so I mean I can say especially in the last week, I've seen quite a few GoFundMe accounts come across my Facebook timeline.
Mm,
And like you said, it's not guaranteed that that money is going to get to the family.
yeah.
So one thing when you're getting insurance is you want to think about what is going to be the need when you pass. So
Mm,
you're going to want to think about your final death benefit. So again, that's something, the sooner you get it, the better. So on average, for a female in her 30s, I'm seeing usually around for about $30,000. It's
okay.
around $30 to $40, depending on what her health is looking like.
Okay.
And that's for whole life benefits. So building cash value, you can take out loans against it, things like that. If you're looking at getting a term policy, which if you get a term policy, think about getting it only in the short interim and getting that switched over within a year or two.
Okay.
Usually for a term policy for about $30,000, it's going to be around 18 to about $25. But again, that's not going to build cash value. But with the term policy, if you get that, because that might be in your price range at the moment, usually what they have built into it is called a renewable and convertible. So with it being renewable and convertible, once you've answered those health questions that one time, you're not going to have to answer that again when you want to convert that to whole life. So it's not, you're not going to have that chance of it being rated. It's just going to be based off of your age, not your health.
Okay. I got you. So let's go back and try to remind everybody. Whole life, it builds cash value.
Yes.
You may can borrow off it and everything, right?
Yes.
Okay. Term life, it does not.
It does not.
Okay.
And once you've reached that term, so say you get one that's a 20-year term policy. Once you reach year 21, it's going to increase in price. Once you reach year 22, it's going to increase in price. So once you have reached your term in that term policy, each year after that, it's going to increase in price. So at some point, you're going to price yourself out of that coverage, whereas you could have gone ahead and converted that over to whole life and had a policy that was building cash value. So if you're wanting to get a term policy, because that's within your price range at the moment, definitely make sure that within 1 to 2, at most 5 years, that you go ahead and get that converted to a whole life, because it's based off your age at that point. And as you get older, the more it's going to cost.
Okay, I got you. Oh, well, y'all, if you got them turn life, you better go ahead and convert them over. Look,
yes,
I'm learning as I go to as we talking. So let's talk about people who have younger kids, and I think I talked to you earlier about riders. So explain that to us, because I didn't know. Somebody just mentioned it to me again about riders, and I'm like, I ain't heard that. And I know we was talking before. I never, thought about it. So explain the riders to us, if anybody trying to get insurance who have kids.
So when you have a child rider or like a spouse rider on your policy, what that is basically is basically a term policy. So when you have that for a child, that's going to stay with that child until the age of 21. And then they're given the option of converting that over to a whole life. So I would say definitely when you're doing a child rider, you're able to get more children covered for less money. But then when you go to convert it later, you're then going to see that price increase. So what I do with my clients is I always sit down with them and I will show them both. So I will show them what it looks like to get their children all covered for whole life. And then I also show them what it is going to be to have them as a child rider. So some of my clients like to go ahead and do a child rider, because once their child turns 21, then that child will take over the policy. And then they'll convert that and turn it into a whole life, and they'll take over the payments. Some of them like to go ahead and get a whole life policy because it locks them in at that price at that young age, instead of at their attained age once they want to get that policy converted. So I give them both options and I show them both so they can kind of make that educated decision themselves on what's going to be best for them and their budget and their family.
Oh, okay. Oh, awesome. I love that. Awesome. So if they're a rider, could they be on the beneficiary part of it too?
Yes.
Okay.
So the only thing, so basically, a child rider is going to be a policy for that child that's connected to the parent. But it's not going to be contingent on them being a beneficiary at all or not being one. So you can be a beneficiary on, say, your mother's policy, and then also be a rider on her policy, because if something were to happen to your mother, you're still going to be able to do the claim on that policy. And then
Okay.
at that point, we would go ahead and get that rider policy switched to a whole life.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Good. So they wouldn't have to do nothing if they're a rider and something happened. They wouldn't have to do anything. It just switch on over.
Right. So I would then at that point sit down with them and say, okay, this is what it's now going to be to convert that to a whole life policy. And for a child, usually it's not going to be, too much more.
Okay.
But, at that point, I would go ahead and tell them what it would be to switch that over. So whoever would be at that point, the child's guardian, that's what, who I would sit down with and explain to them, okay, this is the policy that they had, and this is now what it's looking like to have that as a whole life policy. Now, sometimes the guardian may want to put that child onto their policy as a child rider because they now have guardianship of that child. So,
Okay.
of course, there's always so many options, so.
Yeah. So, cause when I'm thinking while you're talking, and I'm thinking like, okay, if something happened to the parents and they was a rider, you turn it to whole life. So, what if they want to take some of the insurance money and then try to pay up that insurance
You
for the
can.
whole life? You could do that too. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All
Yes. So
right.
they have what's sometimes called like a single premium
Uh-huh.
policy, where you just do one payment into it, and that goes as the only payment you ever had to make into it. And that's going to be the final amount of that policy. So that's an option. And it will build up that interest in it.
Okay.
But of course, like I said, you have the option of doing a single premium, or you can do where you want to pay onto it and say, hey, I'm putting this lump sum onto it,
Okay.
and go from there.
Okay. All right. Cool. 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 So now I know so many probably have this issue of insurance lapsing.
Yeah.
And so can you tell us about like if it lapsed, how many days you got to you could get the insurance back on, or but without it taking a break, or you had to start over? How would that work if the insurance lapsed?
Yeah. So really, it's at most 90 days with my company. 90 days. I'm not sure. Definitely whenever you sit down with an insurance agent, you want to ask them those questions. Ask things that are built into your insurance policy.
Okay.
Ask them what are their policy um, addendums as far as lapsing and things like that. With
Yeah.
our company, if you're within 90 days of lapsing, and you want to go ahead and get that back up to where it's supposed to be, you can reach out to me. I will accept your past premiums, and then
Okay.
that will put you back into current standing with your policy. We also have, if you have a whole life policy, we have the option of, instead of you paying out, so say you missed a month and you weren't able to make that premium that month, we have what's in there called um it's sorry, I can't think of the exact term of it right now, but basically what it is when you miss that payment, it'll come out of the cash value.
Oh, okay.
So instead of you ever having to pay anything, it'll stay in good standing and it'll come out of that cash value. Now, I will reach out to you and let you know, hey, we did see that this happened. So this has come out of the cash value of it. You can later on choose to put that back into it, or you can just pay the interest on what was pulled out.
Okay.
I just sat down the other day with one of my clients, and we
Mhm.
were going through all of her policies, and she noticed where she was getting in the mail a letter saying that she had a 15% interest on a loan. And so she said, I don't remember ever taking out a loan. So I called our customer service, researched it, and saw that on specific dates, she had not made her premium payments. So instead of it
Oh,
canceling her policy,
yeah.
instead what it did was it came out of the cash value, and then she just had to pay the interest on it.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
she does have the option of paying that off and never having that interest payment again.
Yeah.
And then it'll put her back at complete 100% standing for
Okay.
that policy.
Yeah.
But again, it's at no penalty to her. It's written into the policy, and it's at no additional cost.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. Cool. Lord, you learn something new every day. I didn't know all this was going into insurance. Like, oh wow, okay. So now I
Oh
know.
yeah.
Yes. Okay, so now let's go to the other side. Let's go to business owners. So you got small business owners like myself that definitely want to get life insurance and may want to get it for their staff members, but at a
Mhm.
reasonable price. So how could you help small business owners either with themselves or with the employees with life insurance?
So one way that we help small business owners is we give them incentives for hiring new employees.
Okay.
So a lot of times when you're a small business, you aren't able to give your employees benefits, and that's a big thing right now.
Yeah.
So when you are able to give them benefits, that's a selling point of your business.
Yeah.
Hey, we're able to bring you in, we give you a reasonable salary, and you're able to get these additional benefits along with that.
Yeah.
Um, so with our company, when you decide to work with us, each of your employees is automatically going to get, at no cost to them or to you, a $3,000 accidental death policy.
Okay.
And it does not have to be an accident that happened at work. It could be in their home life, it could be at work, it could be anywhere, and it would still pay them out that $3,000 at no
Okay.
cost to
Yeah.
the company or to that employee.
Okay.
The other thing that we have is we have group rates. So that way, if you all decide, hey, we want to get insurance, if you have at least 5 employees that want to get insurance, you're able to get a group rate. So they're able to get life insurance at a rate that would be reduced whether they had chosen to get that by themselves. So
Okay.
that's another incentive. And then two, instead of the employee having to pay out of pocket for that, it will come through your payroll.
Okay.
So that's how you're able to get that tax credit because it's going to go through your payroll.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
So that's going to be 3 ways that you're able to, as a business, to benefit. So one, again, you're going to be able to have an incentive for those new employees coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Two, you're able to get those group rates. And then three, you get those tax credits because it's going through the actual payroll.
Okay. All right. Cool. That sounds good. That sounds good.
Uh-huh.
What we were trying to do. All right. All right. So now that okay, one more. Now I think I got two more questions, but this one is Lord, I went blank. That's why I have to ask them right then. And I went totally blank, totally blank. Okay, okay. So with the small business, so like let's say if you did a partnership and you have a partner and you want to get insurance on each other in case something happened or whatever, do you all do that also?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay,
So
okay.
how that will work is you would be able to purchase the insurance. You all can choose, what, how it's paid for, all of that. And then we would set the beneficiaries up either as, each other, or you can set it up as the business. So
Okay.
however you want to set the beneficiary up on that policy, you
Yeah.
are able to do that. And then with Liberty National, we don't pay out to entities, we pay out to people. So if something were to happen and you all had, say, you as the beneficiary, we're going to send that money to you. We're not going to be sending that off to a funeral home or to a hospital or to a
Okay.
it's coming straight to you.
Okay.
You would call me and I would say, okay, I'm going ahead, I'm submitting this claim for you, and then we're getting that sent out to you. So if you are a business that has more than one owner and you're wanting to cover yourselves, you're able to set each other up as beneficiaries to cover those business expenses.
Okay. All right. All right. Cool. That's something. All right, guys. If you're a partner with somebody and you're in the partnership in the business, that's what you need to do to help cover, the expenses or whatever it is with that business, with the partnership with the insurance. Okay, great. I'm glad you told us about that. Okay, so I think a little bit you were saying about you have filed a claim. So if something do happen to somebody and they're trying to come and, you know, file a claim and get the insurance, I know people say you need the death certificate or you got to wait on it, or how would that work if you're trying to get, the benefits right there to do everything?
So what we have built in with us is we have the freedom of choice. So if something has happened to someone in your family and you're needing to file a claim, if you have not gotten that death certificate yet, we have where I can sit down with you and say, okay, this is how much you all had for the insurance.
Okay.
And then I'm going to write out a freedom of choice certificate to be given to the funeral home. That's going to say, you have X amount of dollars to use for this funeral.
Okay.
And that's the only amount. And this is what you're telling me to
Okay.
give to them.
Okay.
They're not determining it, you're determining it. And
Okay.
so at that point, I say, okay, so this is what they're saying that they're giving to you. This is what you have, and this is their certificate. All you have to give to them at that time is that certificate. And then from there, that's all that we paid out, and everything else is going to go to the family. So if you don't want to do it that way, we would need the death certificate to do the full total payout. But that usually, I'm trying to think. We had my father's, I believe, within a week or two of his death, because we had gone through VA and, you know, all of that. We had to work within their system.
Okay.
But at that point, within 30 days, we had everything handled. So, and part of that was because we had to figure out who was his insurance agent,
Okay.
who we needed to reach out to in that insurance company.
Okay.
Again, with me, anytime I sit down with my clients, you're going to have my card. That's going to have my cell phone number, my email. I can be reached at any point in time of the day, and I will respond, and I'll be able to help you to submit your claim. So at no point in time do you ever have to worry, how am I going to get these things done? Once you let us know this is what's going on, we go ahead on our end and start getting that process going for you.
Okay. Good. That's what we need to know, because I know people, you just know when you're going through a time and you lost a loved one and you're already stressed out and worried and crying and sad and everything else going on.
Right.
So you just want to make sure once you find the insurance paper, or, whatever policy or whatever, because we know a lot of people, especially older people,
Yes.
they tend to put it up in a safe place.
Right.
For
And nobody can find it. Nobody can ever find it.
No, they don't put them up, and they don't put the paper up from themselves, so they don't even know where it's at. So now you got, the family member looking for it. So that is a good thing. So once they do find it, you all would just take over and go with it.
Right. And even if you can't find it, this is why I give them a card, and I tell them, give my phone number to everyone that is a beneficiary on your policy.
Okay.
Because when they have anything happen, they can reach out to me. I can find your policy number. I'm able to look up and see what your policy was.
Okay.
I don't necessarily need that. I just need the name.
Okay.
Once I have your name, then I'm able to go into the system and I'm able to say, okay, this is what the policy number was, and I can take it from there. They just need to know my phone number to be able to reach out to me so that I can go ahead and start getting that claim process started.
All right.
So yes, so if they can't find that policy anywhere in the house, as long as they have my phone number, they will be handled, and I can help them.
All right. Look, I love that because I just did a PSA on that. Where's your paperwork? That's what I typed. Because what I'm saying, I've been through, so many homes where the loved ones will put the paper up and they're searching for it, and we're having them search for it. It's just, a lot of chaos. So I did that PSA to say, let people know where your paperwork is. If you don't want to let everybody know, at least one, but that is a good idea too. So I make sure when I get ready to put that one out, that was an example of getting your business card, right?
Right.
And giving it to everybody who, you need to give it to, and they can find it like that, just in case they can't find. Okay.
Right.
And all of them know what mine are. I just told them, and this is on recording. I told them I want to be cremated, what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't need the big hoopah, all that stuff. I'm ready for all that to go to them. If they're, if all my kids still living, I'm afraid that I outlive them. But I just told them I want to be cremated, and I want everything else to go to them, and they take care of whatever they need to take care of with the grandchildren and stuff. So that's fine. Okay, Alicia. Oh, this has been some great information. If you hadn't learned nothing from this, I don't know what I don't know what to tell you. But you can set up a consultation with Alicia to talk about what you may need, what type of insurance you may need, how much coverage you may need. And she will let you know all of that. If you have a small business and you're trying to get your employees or your contractors or whoever it may be, or your partner, whoever it may be, you want to also call her for that too, because she can get you set up on all of that. She has worked with me and did a wonderful job. I text her, ask her a question, she'll text me right back and tell me what it is. So if you all want to work with her, please, please get to know her. Her contact information will be in the link above or down below. It all depends on where I'm posting it. So make sure you get in touch with her. Also, I will have a picture of her business card. It will be down in the comment section. So you can get all her numbers and all her information off that business card. Okay. So Alicia, do you want to leave us with a final word today?
Yes. In everything that you do it with purity of heart and with the servant's heart,
Yes.
because God is going to take care of you
Yes.
as long as you are doing everything within his will and trying to make
Okay.
sure that his people are taken care of.
Yes. All right now. Come on. Oh, Lord, I love that. That gave me chills right there. That gave me chills right there. Because yes, with everything, we want to keep God first. And then most of y'all know me. That's what I say. Keep God first and put him first in everything you do. And we definitely want to make sure that we taking care of our people. That's why we're putting PSAs out and these different interviews, because a lot of us don't know. And I'm telling you some of the stuff I did not know. So I'm learning as I go too. So I want to make sure you all know that we all be on the same page of with our health, with our, with our family being covered, with whatever it may be, to make sure we having a healthy, successful, whatever, wise life. I put it like that. That's what I'm trying to say. So we want to make sure that we're covered. Okay. So make sure that you click on the link above for her information. All right. Or down below. And then I also will put her business card in the comment section, so you can see her whole business card and you can see everything on there to get in touch with her. Okay. So this podcast has been brought to you by Jack Lane, from his book, From Gangster to Gentleman, A Life That Almost Killed Me. And also his link will be down in the comment section also. So please purchase his book. And everybody, look for the next All About Home Care with Cheryl 2 weeks from now. But make sure you listen to this. Go back and listen to it again if you have to write notes. And then also definitely, definitely make sure you get in touch with Alicia. Okay. All right, guys. You have a good one. Bye. Stay with me.